guys, so today's video is going to be a first impression / review on the Smashbox Studio Skin Foundation. It's a 15-hour wear hydrating foundation. I have dry skin, especially at this very moment. We're in the middle of winter, and of course it's wreaking havoc on my face. So I do have some dryness, not peeling anymore. I was actually like peeling the other day, but that seems to have gone away, thank goodness. So we'll see how I feel about this guy. On the box it says, let me read this to you guys. It says, stay flawless for a full 15 hours with our breakthrough long-wearing formula, inspired by onset demands, developed for your life. Skin is hydrated and shine free, while imperfections are blurred with light diffusing spheres. Buildable to medium full coverage, buildable medium to full coverage, water, sweat, humidity, and transfer resistant, and oil free. So it says it's supposed to hydrate you, yet you're supposed to be shine free. So I'm assuming the finish is going to be like a satin matte, because a super matte finish would probably feel pretty drying. And it says light diffusing spheres, so I don't know if that's going to be obvious. We shall see. So let's get right into the demo. Okay, so this is what the bottle looks like. My shade is in 2.3. I went in there the first time when I was thinking about purchasing this, when I didn't have sunless tanner on. I don't have anything on my face. I do it just right up until my neck. And I was the lightest shade. I think it's like 1.1. The fairest, and I don't know why I'm still holding this up. I'm not extremely fair. I'm pretty fair, but I'm about like an NC 17, 20-ish, around that area in MAC foundations. So that's about as light as they go. They don't have anything more fair than that. So if you're super pale or porcelain tone skin, you may not be able to work with this foundation, which is kind of unfortunate. I know a lot of you guys give me comments about, oh, they don't go light enough for me. So just in case you don't have an opportunity to go in store to Sephora or Ulta where they sell this to see if the color works for you, the color is not extremely light if you're one of those girls. So just keep that in mind. This one works well for me when I have sunless tan on my body. And that's what we're going for right now. I have already moisturized about 5 minutes ago. I used my Ultra Repair Cream by First Aid Beauty. I love that stuff, you guys know. And then for the actual demo, I'm going to check in later on in the day before I wash it off, but I am going to use a primer on just half of my face. And this is the NYX Pore Filler Primer. I've had this for years. I know exactly how it operates. I'm going to take my rings off. So I'll be able to let you guys know if it really improves the way the foundation looks, if it aids in how it blends out, that sort of thing. So I'm just using a tiny amount and just going to apply it to this half of my face. Okay, so this foundation does include a pump, which is awesome. I'm just going to pump a few pumps onto my hand, just so I have plenty to work with. And the consistency looks not extremely thick, but it's not runny. As you can see, it's not running down my hand. So I was going to use a beauty blender, but I am going to use my Makeup Geek foundation stippling brush. This is new to me, and I just recently filmed like a favorite brushes video. I haven't uploaded that yet or anything, but this would have made it in there. For sure, this is my new favorite. So anyways, I'm just going to use this to apply, and my mirror is on like this side and it feels awkward, so I'm just going to use my viewfinder, so I hope that doesn't offend anyone. I just like to apply first in the areas where I have the most redness. The redness that I have now, well, I have the normal hormonal redness around my nose, but I have some sort of emerging pimples coming through, so there's some sort of scarring there. So the color seems to be working well with my sunless tan, as you can see, but it's pretty yellow, which is okay for when I have a sunless tan because it instantly makes me more yellow, sort of golden in tone, but I am quite neutral, so I'm curious to see how that ultra pale foundation color will work on me if I do end up purchasing that one for when I'm not sunless tanning. Because for right now, I don't like to have super yellow foundations when I'm not sunless tanning. It doesn't work out so well. I put a few pumps on the back of my hand, and I actually went through quite a bit of it building up to this coverage, but at the same time, it doesn't look heavy on my face at all. I don't see anything sitting on top. Well, yes I do, because I'm not done blending it in. But so far, it's looking really, really nice. This is one of the areas on my face that gets super dry. So I want to make sure I blend that in really nicely here. It's definitely easier when you don't have your eyebrows on already. Ooh. I am going to bring it down my neck just a little bit. I'm starting to get those sort of crease marks on my neck from where the sunless tanner is wearing off, which is super attractive, so I'm going to help mask them with some foundation. Okay, so it is applied to my face and my neck, just one layer. I can see a couple areas of redness peeking through. Sorry, I'll try and keep that mirror down so it blocks the light here where I have a pretty big red spot where there's a pimple, and a little bit of redness on my chin, but nothing major, and I'm going to conceal in those areas anyways, so I wouldn't normally add another layer of foundation just because of that, but I am going to test out the buildableness of the foundation because it claimed that it was buildable. And just an FYI, the foundation almost has like a gel-like consistency. It reminds me a lot of the Marc Jacobs Genius Gel. Is that what it's called? I'm pretty sure that's what it's called, just in the way that it feels. So I'm just going to add a little bit more coverage here, and I have some on the bridge of my nose as well, just to see how it builds. And when I do a second layer of foundation, I like to stipple rather than buff, because you're just going to disturb the layer underneath, which is one thing that's awesome about this brush, is it stipples really, really well. And I also like how it's a bit smaller, so I can get into the areas like here and in between my brows. I was using the F80 from Sigma for a really long time. I mean, you guys know, that was my ride or die, and then it started, well, let me adjust the light. It started shedding like crazy, like really, really bad. And I wanted to try this one out anyways. This is the Makeup Geek one, and so far I like it better. So I'll link the brush down below if you guys are into that. But as far as the foundation goes, that pretty much covered everything else. I don't even need to conceal anything more. I like to do under the eyes just to brighten them, but I don't really have dark circles showing through. The finish is, I would say, like a satin matte, just like I was talking about before. It doesn't feel like it's totally dried, so I'll let you know if it dries or what it feels like when it dries. But so far I really like it. It looks like skin. It looks a bit heavier than skin, probably because of that second layer, especially in this area. But I'm really, really liking it. I think this will be a great foundation for photos, and I think in a light layer it would be an awesome foundation for every day. So I have really, really high hopes for it. I'm going to zoom you guys in and kind of adjust the lighting so you can see what my skin texture looks like right now without me kind of making it look nicer with all these bright lights. So come on in. Okay, so I turned down the lights a bit so you guys could see more of what my skin looks like, but this is me zoomed in. This side I used the primer on, and this side I did not. I don't see any difference whatsoever. So this may be a foundation that you don't necessarily need a primer with. It just didn't do anything. I did notice that the foundation did settle a bit into my pores, which the primer normally helps with. So maybe I'll give it a go with another primer as well, but so far it seemed to not matter whatsoever, so I'd probably just skip that step at this point. Hey guys, so it's been about 10 hours. It's 9 o'clock and I finished my foundation at about 11, and it has held up so well. So well. Let me grab a little mirror so I can do a super close inspection. So as I said before, my skin is very dry, so no oils in my face have broken it apart whatsoever, and it hasn't settled into any of the dry areas that I had over on this side of my chin area. Although those were getting a little bit better, it didn't emphasize any of that texture issue. I will say the foundation didn't crease or settle into the lines I have going across my forehead, which is great, but it did kind of settle into the fine lines under my eye. I also, like I mentioned before, am noticing my pores. Now that the powder is kind of worn off, that did help. After I powdered my foundation, it did help it look a bit more airbrushed and made my pores look a little bit smoother, but now that that has gone, I haven't touched any of that up all day, I'm noticing those again. So if pores are an issue for you, this without a pore filler under it doesn't do anything for that like some foundations can do. It doesn't look very cakey in any areas except kind of like on my top lip a little bit. It looks a bit dry, but overall for a fairly matte foundation, at least it was a matte finish on me, it has been very comfortable. I've worn it all day with no issues, and I really don't feel like I have much on my face, which my holy grail foundation for right now is probably my MAC Studio Fix Fluid, which I've been wearing for a very long time. So that's kind of the one I'm comparing it to. That one I feel on my skin. It's a bit heavier. It's a bit more full coverage. This one was almost there in coverage, but it was much more comfortable for my dry skin. I can't attest to how it will wear on oily skin, but I do know that Cassie from Shades of Cassie did a review on this foundation a while back. So if you guys are oily, you have oily skin, I will leave her video down below so you guys can check that out. I'm pretty sure she loved it too. So yeah, I can attest to that. But for dry skin, this is a very, very comfortable foundation if you aren't worried about it settling into pores and wrinkles, which honestly I'm really not that worried about it. I would normally just use a better primer. So I'm gonna keep wearing this and I will let you guys know how I feel after about a month so I can give you, you know, my 2 thumbs up or whatever. But right now I'm extremely happy with this. I'm definitely going to be purchasing the more pale shade for when I'm not sunless tanning. Yeah, super happy with it. I think it looks really great, and it's been a good 10 hours, and that's kind of the longest that I would wear foundation. So I'm super happy. Let me know down below if you guys have any other questions. Have you tried this foundation? Has it worked for you? Definitely leave a comment down below so others can read your thoughts and experiences with this. If you guys have tried it with a beauty blender, let me know how that has worked for you as well. I'm thinking about trying it with one too, just to kind of see, but with it being a thicker consistency, I figured a brush would be best. So yeah, anything you need to tell me, leave it down below. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye. Hey guys, so today's video is going to be a first impression / review on the new Tarte Cream Liner, or clay paint liner they call it. It says on the box that it's an exclusive cream formula. It has a revolutionary, foolproof blending stage, which I'll show you, and it's waterproof and ophthalmologist tested. I have very sensitive eyes, but I find that generally I don't have a problem with